As 2024 fades into history, the globe is observing an extraordinary transformation in energy geopolitics. For numerous decades, Moscow's gas pipelines have embodied steadfast supremacy, firmly binding Europe to Russian energy. Yet, the shutdown of the Brotherhood pipeline has inverted this narrative. This Soviet-era relic, once a keystone of Moscow's authority, now emerges as a stark representation of its waning sway. What instigated Ukraine's audacious action to halt Russian gas passage? And what ramifications does this carry for the worldwide equilibrium of authority? Welcome to our channel where we delve profoundly into the chronicles that hold significance. As a nascent platform, we are forging a domain for reflective, impartial scrutiny. If you are prepared for an innovative outlook, click that subscribe button and unite with us on this expedition. Gas combustion, Russia's monetary breakdown. Russia's incapacity to export gas through Europe has compelled it to incinerate surplus supplies, a procedure where superfluous natural gas is burned off due to a deficit of storage or marketplace entrance. This predicament has morphed into a conspicuous symbol of economic inefficiency and geopolitical debacle. According to Reuters, Russia's gas conduit export monopoly, Gazprom, plummeted to a net deficit of $7 billion in 2023, its foremost annual deficit since 1999, owing to the forfeiture of EU gas markets. This considerable curtailment exacerbates an already desperate monetary circumstance as the nation grapples with mounting sanctions and diminishing energy sectors. Natural gas, a valuable byproduct of petroleum output, is an essential element of Russia's energy economy. It must either be stored or traded to circumvent waste. However, the nation lacks sufficient infrastructure to liquefy natural gas for global export. Effectively, sanctions have severed Russia's entree to sophisticated technology, requisite for expanding its liquefied natural gas facilities, leaving the nation ill-equipped to pivot from pipeline-dependent exports. Reuters underscores that flaring has become a commonplace spectacle in Russia's Arctic oil fields, where blazes from incinerating gas illuminate the night sky. This wasteful practice accentuates Moscow's inability to acclimate to its new truth, a truth in which Europe, once its most lucrative gas sector, has decisively shifted toward alternative suppliers and renewable energy foundations. The monetary repercussions of flaring extend considerably beyond immediate revenue losses. Each cubic meter of gas burned denotes a missed prospect to generate income in a fiercely competitive global energy market. Furthermore, the ecological consequences are grim. The flaring procedure discharges significant quantities of carbon dioxide and methane, intensifying worldwide climate apprehensions. This ecological degradation further isolates Russia on the international stage, where its repute has already been gravely damaged by its incursion of Ukraine. Domestically, the economic strain is evident. Gazprom, once a fiscal behemoth, has witnessed its influence and profitability eroded. The corporation is now under duress from the Kremlin to uphold operations despite diminishing returns. Simultaneously, ordinary Russians are bearing the brunt of escalating inflation and diminished public spending, as government coffers are depleted by both military expenditures and the breakdown of conventional revenue streams. Russia's economic dependence on fossil fuels has transformed into a liability, highlighting its inability to diversify revenue streams over decades of resource dependence. In divergence, Europe's adaptation to substitute energy sources and liquefied natural gas imports has not only mitigated its reliance on Russian gas, but has also established a precedent for energy autonomy. The more extensive implications for Russia are ominous. The energy sector, once a cornerstone of its geopolitical authority, has transformed into a symbol of strategic miscalculation. With no instantaneous solutions in sight, the Kremlin confronts an uphill struggle to stabilize its economy while balancing the fiscal pressures of prolonged conflict. As reserves dwindle and international isolation deepens, recuperation for Russia's energy sector and broader economy appears progressively unattainable. Forfeiting Europe's gas sector, the closure of the Brotherhood pipeline, which had been operative since 1973, signifies a pivotal turning point in Russia's declining energy dominance. For decades, this infrastructure served as a symbol of Moscow's influence over Europe, enabling Russia to exploit its vast natural gas reserves as a geopolitical tool. However, the termination of this pipeline, one of the most historically significant energy conduits, now accentuates a dramatic shift in global energy dynamics. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky succinctly encapsulated the magnitude of this progression, stating, "When Putin was granted authority in Russia more than 25 years prior, the yearly gas pumping through Ukraine to Europe was 130+ billion cubic meters. Today, the transit of Russian gas is zero." This dramatic line reflects not merely the forfeiture of a key revenue stream, but also the more extensive strategic debacle of Russia's energy policies. Once a foundation of Gazprom's business blueprint, the pipeline's closure is anticipated to cost Russia approximately $5 billion annually. This loss compounds existing fiscal pressures on the Kremlin, exacerbated by international sanctions and the fluctuating priorities of global energy markets. The monetary impact of the pipeline's shutdown reverberates throughout Russia's energy sector. The Brotherhood pipeline was not merely a commercial asset, it was a linchpin in Moscow's strategy to uphold leverage over Europe. For years, Russia exploited its status as Europe's primary energy provider, employing gas supply as a tool to exert political and economic pressure. The forfeiture of this conduit signifies a critical blow to that strategy. European nations, in response to Russia's incursion of Ukraine and the ensuing energy crisis, have transitioned swiftly to alternative suppliers, such as the United States, Qatar, and Norway. This diversification has rendered Russian exports increasingly redundant, cutting deeply into Gazprom's traditional market share. Analysts note that this progression represents a more extensive debacle of Moscow's economic strategy. The Kremlin had long counted on Europe's dependence on Russian gas to sustain its geopolitical ambitions and financial steadiness. However, the war in Ukraine has accelerated Europe's pivot toward energy autonomy, with investments in renewable energy and liquefied natural gas infrastructure, diminishing reliance on Russian imports. By the culmination of 2024, Europe had not merely weathered the winter without significant disruptions, but had also managed to stabilize natural gas prices, further undermining Russia's bargaining power. The closure of the Brotherhood pipeline carries more extensive implications beyond economics. Symbolically, it represents the dwindling sway of Russia in European affairs. The pipeline was once a testament to Moscow's capacity to integrate its energy dominance with its foreign policy. Its shutdown now stands as a stark reminder of how swiftly geopolitical realities can shift. Furthermore, the situation highlights Russia's growing seclusion on the global stage. The Kremlin's reliance on energy as a weapon has backfired, leaving its economy increasingly reliant on less lucrative sectors in Asia. Even there, rivalry from other energy-exporting nations and logistical impediments, such as restricted pipeline capacity to China, have curtailed Moscow's capacity to compensate for the forfeiture of European markets. Analysts caution that the long-term ramifications of this seclusion will likely encompass a weaker economy, diminished technological advancement in energy extraction, and reduced political influence in international negotiations. Europe's energy shield. Adaptation amid crisis. Moscow's aspirations of plunging Europe into an energy crisis have failed spectacularly. When Russia curtailed its gas exports, it gambled on Europe succumbing to an energy scarcity during the harsh winter months. However, this strategy backfired as Europe's resilience transformed a potential crisis into a manageable challenge. Since 2022, European nations have made remarkable progress in diversifying their energy imports. Liquefied natural gas terminals in Germany and the Netherlands have significantly broadened the continent's capacity to import from dependable partners, such as the United States, Qatar, and Norway. Renewable energy ventures, including wind and solar projects, have also played a pivotal role in mitigating the fallout from the cessation of Russian gas supplies. Investments in interconnectors among EU member states have improved energy sharing, ensuring no country is left vulnerable as a consequence. Natural gas prices, while slightly elevated during winter, have stabilized and remain far below the peaks of 2022, showcasing Europe's adaptive capabilities. The coordinated endeavor among European nations has strengthened unity within the EU. Poland, for instance, has assumed a leadership role in compensating for potential shortages, ensuring Slovakia and Hungary can uphold energy supplies despite the disruption. This collective methodology has not only stabilized energy sectors, but also diminished Europe's reliance on Russian supplies. Additionally, energy-saving campaigns across Europe have successfully reduced demand, with nations like France and Italy reporting a 10% reduction in energy consumption compared to pre-crisis levels. Europe's resilience underscores Moscow's strategic miscalculation. The continent's capacity to adapt and respond to the crisis has undermined Russia's strategy of weaponizing energy. This shift has not only diminished Moscow's economic leverage, but has also bolstered Europe's geopolitical standing as a unified and self-reliant entity. Analysts note that the triumph of these measures has conveyed a lucid message. Europe will not be coerced by energy blackmail. Looking ahead, the crisis has accelerated Europe's transition to a greener and more sustainable energy future. The EU's commitment to renewable energy has been reinforced with record investments in wind and solar power projects. These ventures are laying the foundation for long-term energy security, diminishing Europe's vulnerability to external shocks. In this context, Moscow's gamble not only failed to destabilize Europe, but also inadvertently strengthened its resolve to attain energy autonomy. Ukraine's technological advancements have not only revolutionized the battlefield, but have also played a crucial role in disrupting Russia's energy dominance. By harnessing cutting-edge instruments and innovative strategies, Ukraine has directly challenged Moscow's dependence on energy exports as a geopolitical weapon, particularly its expansive pipeline infrastructure. One significant instance is Ukraine's utilization of advanced surveillance and intelligence systems to monitor and safeguard critical energy transit routes. These technologies have enabled Ukraine to maintain command over its energy infrastructure, while denying Russia the capability to exploit it for coercive leverage. For instance, Ukraine's real-time intelligence capabilities, supported by NATO allies, have furnished invaluable insights into the vulnerabilities of Russian pipelines and energy facilities, enabling targeted actions that have further eroded Moscow's influence. Additionally, Ukraine's decision to cease Russian gas transit through the Brotherhood pipeline exemplifies its strategic integration of technology with energy policy. This bold move, enabled by enhanced security and operational capabilities, not only severed a key revenue stream for Russia, but also accelerated Europe's transition toward energy independence. The cessation of gas transit, combined with Ukraine's technological edge, underscores the nation's role as a central figure in reshaping the global energy landscape. Ukraine's deployment of precision systems, such as drones and HIMARS, has further amplified its capacity to counter Russian energy infrastructure. Reports suggest that these tools have been instrumental in protecting critical infrastructure from Russian missile strikes, ensuring continuity in energy supplies despite relentless attacks. By effectively defending its energy assets, Ukraine has demonstrated resilience that directly undermines Russia's strategy of utilizing energy as a weapon. The more extensive implications of Ukraine's technological edge extend beyond the immediate conflict. Its ability to secure energy infrastructure and disrupt Russian operations has fostered stronger alliances with European nations, which increasingly view Ukraine as a reliable partner in achieving energy security. This collaboration reinforces Europe's collective resolve to end dependency on Russian gas, highlighting Ukraine's crucial role in shaping a more resilient and diversified energy future. Ultimately, Ukraine's technological innovations have not only bolstered its military strategy, but have also contributed significantly to dismantling Russia's energy monopoly. By integrating technology into its energy policies, Ukraine has reshaped the geopolitical dynamics of the region, creating a lasting impact on global energy security. Transnistria's predicament. The abrupt cessation of Russian gas has thrown Transnistria into disarray, exposing the fragility of its dependence on Moscow. For decades, Russian subsidies and gas propped up the breakaway region, enabling its semi-autonomous status while exerting leverage over Moldova. With pipelines dry, the power plant central to Transnistria's economy and infrastructure now teeter on the brink of collapse. Winter has exacerbated the crisis, leaving residents facing severe energy shortages and freezing temperatures. The economic fallout is severe. Transnistria's industries, reliant on cheap energy, struggle to sustain production, driving unemployment. Reports indicate residents who once aligned with Moscow now question the benefits. A recent local survey revealed nearly 60% would support reintegration with Moldova if it ensured stability and EU access. Moldovan officials view this unrest as pivotal. Prime Minister Doran Risian has emphasized Moldova's readiness to assist, framing European integration as a viable alternative to dependence on a faltering Russia. Brussels has signaled that Transnistria's alignment with Moldova could accelerate EU accession, unlocking economic opportunities. Geopolitically, Transnistria's crisis reflects Moscow's waning influence. Russia's inability to support allies underscores the toll of its prolonged conflict in Ukraine. Similar discussions have emerged in South Ossetia and Abkhazia about the sustainability of Moscow's support. This shift holds implications for Eastern Europe's stability. Transnistria's potential reconciliation with Moldova could set a precedent for resolving other frozen conflicts. However, analysts warn Moscow may destabilize the region to prevent its integration with Europe, highlighting the fragile balance of power in this strategic corridor. Putin's hollow pronouncements. President Vladimir Putin's rhetoric of resilience and strength starkly contrasts with the reality of Russia's faltering energy sector. While his New Year's address celebrated symbolic territorial gains in Ukraine, the closure of the Brotherhood pipeline reveals the deeper cracks in Moscow's geopolitical foundation. Once a critical conduit for Russian gas to Europe, its shutdown marks a profound shift in global energy dynamics and a blow to Russia's influence. The forfeiture of Europe as a primary energy market has not only drained billions from Russia's coffers, but has also exposed the limitations of its reliance on fossil fuel exports. Gazprom, the state-owned gas giant, reported a staggering $7 billion net loss in 2023. Highlighting the economic fallout of this strategic miscalculation. As Europe swiftly transitioned to alternative energy suppliers and renewable sources, Moscow's once dominant position in the global energy market has crumbled. This energy collapse has amplified domestic challenges. Ordinary Russians are increasingly burdened by inflation and reduced public services as government resources are diverted to sustain a prolonged conflict. Internationally, the inability to maintain energy leverage has weakened Russia's standing with allies, like China, exploiting its vulnerabilities. Putin's pronouncements of triumph ring hollow, underscored by the stark realities of economic and geopolitical decline. Moscow's strategic blunder. The closure of the Brotherhood pipeline represents not only a logistical setback for Russia, but also a profound strategic failure. For decades, Moscow relied on energy exports as a cornerstone of its geopolitical influence. The shutdown underscores a critical miscalculation, assuming Europe would remain indefinitely dependent on Russian gas. Instead, the move catalyzed a transformation in Europe's energy strategy. By weaponizing energy, Moscow underestimated the resilience and adaptability of its European partners. In response to supply cuts, European nations rapidly diversified energy sources, turning to reliable allies like Norway, Qatar, and the United States. The acceleration of renewable energy projects further weakened Russia's grip, as clean energy alternatives gained prominence. Analysts suggest the closure has inadvertently strengthened Europe's energy security while diminishing Russia's leverage. The ripple effects extend beyond Europe. Moscow's diminished capacity to project influence weakens its bargaining power with partners like China and India. China, known for exploiting vulnerabilities, has leveraged Moscow's isolation to secure favorable energy terms. This reflects the broader consequences of Russia's miscalculation, as its once dominant position erodes. Ultimately, this failure exposes the fragility of Moscow's over-reliance on energy exports. The closure highlights the limitations of coercion in an interconnected world, leaving Russia isolated, economically strained, and searching for relevance. The cessation of Russian gas transit to Europe signifies more than just an economic downturn. It marks a profound geopolitical shift. Moscow's reliance on energy as a tool of coercion has been met with Europe's unyielding resilience and adaptability. This turning point in global politics underscores a world where innovation and unity triumph over dominance and intimidation. For Ukraine and its allies, this is not merely a victory. It's a testament to the power of collective determination. Europe's rapid diversification of energy sources, bolstered by partnerships with reliable nations, has fundamentally reshaped the energy landscape. Meanwhile, Russia finds itself grappling with the consequences of its miscalculations, further isolating itself on the global stage. Our channel's content is provided solely for informational and educational purposes. While we strive to present balanced analyses on political and military topics, the opinions expressed do not represent the views of any government, organization, or political entity. We encourage viewers to think critically, carry out independent research, and consult multiple sources. Our channel maintains its impartial stance and does not advocate for any specific political agenda, ideology, or course of action. If this analysis resonated with you, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement fuels meaningful discussions and helps us continue to bring you comprehensive insights into the world's most pressing conflicts. Start a video. Numerous occurrences across the globe have dramatically reshaped the energy landscape, and today, we're diving deep into these pivotal transformations. Let's examine the intricate web of geopolitical shifts, economic impacts, and technological advancements that have redefined the balance of power in recent times. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. Your support is very important for the channel's growth and helps us reach more viewers. Be sure to share with us where you're watching from in the comments section below. We love to see the global reach of our community. After first chapter, make sure to stay with us until the end, where we'll summarize key insights from everything that we've talked about and go over the main conclusions.